Okay, hi everyone, this is Charles and we're going to do a tutorial on this virtual refractor. Here you can see we've opened this virtual refractor and let's go to Teachings, Assessment. Okay. Now, under the tools we see we have Vision, Read, First, Second, Which, Letter Chart. These are the ones that we're going to use today. Under here we see an underline on these letters and these are the hotkeys to these buttons. Now, firstly, we need to zero both eyes. Occlude your left eye, the patient's left eye, and select the letter chart. Now click Vision to see what vision he sees when the sphere is 0. I'm measuring sphere first. Now we can see that his vision is 0.9 on the logmar. So first we need to see if he is hyperope by adding a +3. Vision again, and you can see that it goes back up to 1. So instead we try -3. Vision goes down to -0.4. We can see it's very close to 0.66. So what you do is you use these buttons. These buttons are for going up and down by a quarter of a diopter increment. So let's try -4. As you can see, his vision got better. So we'll try -3. And we're trying to find the highest power which will give the best vision. So it stayed the same. This one, same. This one, same. Notice we're going up by a quarter of a diopter. Here you see that with the -2.5 sphere, vision got worse. So we know that his sphere is -2.75 and that is his best sphere. Now we look at the cylinder and we click this button. This yellow is to rotate the axis, no, the power. And this is the axis. The green is the positive power, the red is the negative power. T here is to rotate the two powers. And for our first measurement, we're going to use an axis 0 with the powers on 45 degrees. So, I'm going to use first, click T to turn the powers around, second, and then which. The first is clearer, meaning when this red negative was here. So you turn this dial to where the red was, which was around 45. And you go first, T, second, which. Second is clearer, so the negative is pointing this way. So your axis should be between this horizontal and this 45 degrees. So bring this around to that, to around 27. First, second, which? The second is clearer, so it's between this one and that one. So turn this back around a tiny bit, 39 around, first, second, which? Second is clearer, so turn this a tiny bit, maybe a few degrees that way, first, second, which? They're equal. So what you need to know is that there is a range that they could be equal. For example, we go to 35, first, second, switch. So they're both the same for these as well. So it's around 35, 36. Now, what we need to do is find the exact angle. And how we do that is we average out the two ranges. So we go to 33. And from 33 to 36, you realize that they're both equal. Maybe go 32. Between 32 and 36. Now, the intermediate between 32 and 36 is around 34. So we're going to choose 34 as the axis. Once you've completed the axis, now we're moving on to power. So drag the yellow one so that one of the powers is on top of the axis. We have the negative one on the axis. And we're going to do the same thing. Ask first one, the second one, which one is clearer? First is clearer, meaning the red. When the red was on the axis, it was clearer. Now what that means is that the negative is clearer. So what we do is we add a minus 0.25 Cyl. Try again. First is clearer again, so we add another minus 0.25 Cyl. Try again. Okay, so sometimes it's very slow. So what I usually do is I take a shortcut. I go minus 5 diopter Cyl. Try again. First is clearer again. You need more negative. So try minus 1.25. Again, the negative is clearer. Add another minus 0.5. Okay, again. Okay, so here we have a completed Cyl diopter. Now what we need to do now is for every 0.5 Cyl we need to add 0.25 sphere, because we need to get the CLC on the retina again. So 0.25, how many are there in this Cyl? There's 5. So we need to add that much. And now we check the vision again. And you can see that it's pretty much 6, 7.5. And we finish with the first eye. Now we move on to the second eye. We do the same thing. We check its vision. Its vision is pretty clear. So I'm going to add a 1 diopter sphere. And it's gotten worse. So we reduce the 1 diopter sphere. It's pretty good. Now we need the most positive sphere. So what we do is we try that one. That one. So what we know is that the minus 0.5 is the most positive sphere. If you go minus 0.25, it moves up, it gets worse. So we finish with the spheres. Now we go on to the Cyl. Move this to the 45-degree mark. And when the axis is on 0, try first, second, which one? Second is clearer. So we drag the axis 45 degrees this way. First, second, which one's clearer? First is clearer, so we need to move it this way. First, second, which one? First is clearer, we need to move it back a bit more. Second is clearer, so we're moving towards the red again. First is clearer, so we're moving a bit more towards the green this time. This is clearer, so tiny bit. So we got 1, 2, 1 is the axis where we first get equality. Now we need to try 1, 2, 3. We get the bracketing. 1, 2, 3 is equal, 1, 2, 1 is equal. Try 1, 2, 5. So it's around 1, 2, 4. It's between 1, 2, 4 and 2, 0. So 1, 2, 4 and 1, 2, 0. This one. So between 1, 2, 4 and 1, 1, 9. 1, 2, 2. 1, 2, 1. Okay, so we're done with the axis. Now we go on to Cyl. Power. So move this on to, it doesn't matter which one, it doesn't matter if it's green or red, just move it onto the axis. Try 1 or 2. Which one? Is clearer, so you add in my 0.5 diopters. 0 and another 0.1 diopters. This is clearer, so we go between -1 and -0.5. Try again, I'm pretty sure this one is equal. Okay, so with a -0.75, we need to add 0.25 sphere. So we add that. Now we check vision again, and it should be pretty good. Now we've finished with both eyes. So we go to teaching, report form, click OK. As you can see, I've gotten this column is the real patient. This column is what the student wrote. This is the error. This is how many marks. This is for the left eye student, error, mark. So sphere is good, Cyl power is good, axis off by 1, axis off by 1 again, and here we see the marks distribution. So we've got 55 out of 60 for right eye, 55 for left eye. Mark for number of questions, because I asked 46 questions, they took 5 marks off. And mark for the time is 0 because I took 11 minutes. This is your final mark out of 100, and that's how you calculate that mark. You would print that sheet if you were actually doing this assessment and sign here. So today we're going to cancel.